child walked in the snow for hours. She held an axe in her right for protection, his hand in her left. The cold made their bones feel like thin glass ready to shatter. Their feet sank in the white matter with every step. They couldn't stop. They couldn't slow down. Not until she made sure he was safe. For 12 years, they had lived alone in the Cuyahoga forest. The woman was a warrior, eldest child of 10 of the strong Heyoka clan. Her son, on the other hand, was but a bastard. A weak seed spawned from a weak man. 12 years since the great chief gave his daughter the choice: abortion or exile. She never looked back. She walked away from her family and clan, for she chose to love that child endlessly and to no extent. For 12 years, that child grew up, never feeling needy or unsafe. She made sure of that. She grew stronger, worked harder for her cub to never feel neglected. The prince and queen of nowhere. One day, the warrior came home with an ominous look upon her face. It was the first time the son saw his mother scared. She asked him to pack their things as they moved out into the snow. She pushed him as if something was on their trail. For hours they walked in the cold. The snow ate at their bones. Their feet sank in it. And suddenly, the warrior collapsed to the floor. Her son, petrified, followed her on his knees. He looked into her eyes, he looked into her face, asking for answers. She looked into his, ashamed. For she knew, no matter how strong she was no match for the cancer infesting her lungs. No matter how brave she was, she couldn't tell her own son he was about to lose her. As the petrified son begged his mother to get up, he begged God to help him. But heaven was deaf that night. As the warrior drew her final breath, the bastard could now add orphan to his long list of titles. He sat there, wishing he could share her fate, as if destiny itself wanted him to lay down and perish. Then it hit him. Like the blinding light of 1,000 suns, like the deafening roar of 1,000,000 soldiers. He couldn't give up. Not now, not ever. He was the reason she fought for. He's the living, breathing monument of her undying will. Her face was ice cold as he kissed her cheek. He grabbed her axe and stood himself a new warrior. Every step he took away from her ripped a void through his center, a void he would learn to live with for the rest of his life. Now he walked alone. He walked in the direction she wanted him to walk in, till he reached the clan site. The Heyoka gates stood tall. Soldiers scrambled. Even the great chief himself went out to inspect the intruder. It only took minutes for the grandfather to realize he was looking into his daughter's honeyed eyes. It only took seconds for 12 years to wash away. The warrior had found his new home. Since that day, he vowed to fight in his mother's name for as long as he lived.